Ever feel like your space is just too small for all the plants you want? Or maybe you've got that little corner that just needs some greenery, but you're not sure how to fit it in without overwhelming the space? I totally get it. Today's video is all about how climbing plants can transform even the smallest of spaces into a lush, vibrant paradise. These plants will help you make the most of every inch of space you have, and I promise there's always room for more greenery. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to share the 10 best climbing plants that thrive in pots and small spaces. And let me tell you, they don't need much space to look incredible. Whether it's your balcony, a tiny apartment, or just an empty wall, these climbing beauties will bring life to any corner. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end because I've got a bonus tip on vertical gardening that could completely change how you approach your space. But first, if you're ready to bring some greenery into your home and make the most of your small space, go ahead and hit that like button. You'll be helping out this plant-loving community, and I appreciate it. All right, let's kick things off with a true classic English ivy. If you've spent any time in gardens or even just wandering through city streets, you've probably seen this one hanging beautifully in baskets or climbing up fences, creating that perfect natural green vibe. It's one of those plants that instantly brings a sense of calm and beauty to any space, no matter how small it is. Now, why is English ivy such a fantastic choice for small spaces? For starters, it's an easy grower, seriously. It doesn't take much to get it thriving. One of the best things about it is how well it does in partial shade. If you've got a spot that doesn't get a ton of sunlight, ivy will be right at home. Plus, it's incredibly versatile. You can let it trail down, climb up, or even wrap it around a trellis. It works in almost any setup and can quickly transform a blank wall or balcony into a green escape. English ivy isn't demanding, which is one of the reasons I love it. It does best in slightly moist soil, so just make sure the soil isn't bone dry before you water it. I'd recommend checking the top inch of the soil. If it feels dry, go ahead and water it. One of the best parts is super low maintenance. If you've been looking for a plant that won't stress you out with constant care, this is your go-to. Just keep an eye on it and let it do its thing, climbing and growing with minimal effort from you. So let's hear from you. Who here has had English ivy in their space? How's it doing for you? I know it's one of those plants that just takes off once it settles in, but I'd love to hear your experiences. Drop a comment below and share how it's worked out in your space. Good, bad, or anything in between. Now, moving on to something that really steals the show, Clematis. This plant is an absolute beauty, and when it blooms, you're in for a treat. If you've ever seen it in full flower, you know what I'm talking about. The vibrant colors and delicate petals make it a standout, and it really knows how to make a statement in any garden, balcony, or small space. What makes Clematis such a perfect climbing plant for small spaces is that it doesn't need a lot of space at its base. It can be grown in pots without taking over the entire container, which is awesome if you're trying to maximize a smaller space. Clematis comes in all sorts of colors, from soft purples and pinks to fiery reds and whites, so you can pick the one that best suits your style. It thrives in full sun, which means it's a perfect choice for those sunny spots in your yard or on your balcony. And the best part? It's a great way to add some serious color without taking up too much space. Now, for care, Clematis is fairly easy, but it does have a few preferences. While it loves the sun, it needs its roots to be shaded, so I recommend placing it in a pot with some ground cover or mulch around the base to keep those roots cool. Water it well, especially in hot weather, because it likes to stay hydrated. It's important to keep the soil moist but not soggy. Regular watering will ensure those blooms keep coming back year after year. The blooms themselves are gorgeous, but they'll be even more impressive when the plant is happy and well cared for. All right, quick question for you. Do you prefer flowering plants, or are you all about the greenery? Let me know what you're drawn to. And hey, if you're a flower lover, drop your favorite flowering plant in the comments. Let's see what everyone's growing out there. If you're looking for a plant that adds a truly exotic touch to your space, let me introduce you to the Passionflower. This one's a real showstopper. I mean, when it blooms, it's like something out of a tropical paradise. The flowers are just mesmerizing, vibrant, intricate, and so unique that they instantly grab your attention. Whether it's winding up a trellis or spilling over the edge of a pot, the passionflower doesn't just climb, it commands attention. It's one of those plants that'll have people asking, "What is that beautiful flower?" every time they see it. The vines of the passionflower are equally as stunning, growing vigorously with a lush green backdrop to those jaw-dropping blooms. And let me tell you, if you're looking to make a statement in a small space, this is the plant to do it. Its beauty makes it feel like you've stepped into a secret garden. Now, the passionflower does have a bit of a preference when it comes to its environment. It thrives in a warm, sunny spot. So if you've got a sunny balcony or windowsill, it's going to love that space. But, and this is important, it's sensitive to frost. So if you live in a colder climate, you'll want to bring it indoors during the winter months. It's all about giving it that perfect environment to flourish. Isn't that flower just stunning? I think it's one of the most unique climbing plants you can get. What do you think? Love it or leave it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this showstopper. Now, let's talk about another favorite of mine, the Virginia creeper. If you're looking for a fast-growing climber that will quickly transform any space, this is your plant. It's perfect if you want a plant that really gets going without you having to wait forever for it to fill out. And if you've got an area that's a little more shaded, Virginia creeper will thrive there, no problem. It loves those spots that get less direct sun, so it's ideal for those tricky corners where most plants struggle. But here's the thing, while it's perfect for shady areas, it's also a bit of a wild grower. This plant can take over, and if you don't keep an eye on it, it can spread pretty quickly. That's why it's important to prune it back regularly to keep it neat and tidy, especially if you've got it in a pot or along a wall. But if you don't mind a little bit of chaos and you want a plant that's going to create a lush green cover in no time, Virginia creeper is your friend. I love how fast it grows. It's like a natural way to get that beautiful, full green look. It's the kind of plant that'll have your space looking more vibrant in no time. Who else loves a plant that grows fast and wild like this? Are you a fan of letting plants kind of take over? Or do you like to keep things tidy and controlled? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear if you're the wild growth type or prefer a little more order in your garden. If you want a plant that brings vibrant, tropical energy into your space, bougainvillea is your go-to. This plant is all about bold, brilliant colors. Seriously, when it blooms, it's like the whole plant is bursting into color. Whether you choose purple, red, orange, or pink, it's going to make an instant impact. Bougainvillea thrives in hot, sunny spots. And let me tell you, it's one of those plants that just loves the heat. If you've got a spot that basks in full sun, this is the plant to put there. It'll reward you with a cascade of blooms that will have everyone stopping in their tracks. Now, one of the best parts about bougainvillea is how it grows. You can train it to climb up trellises, fences, or even grow it along a wall to create a stunning burst of color. But here's the kicker, it's a bit of a tough plant. This beauty doesn't require a lot of pampering, which makes it perfect for people who want color without too much fuss. It's drought tolerant too. So, if you're someone who sometimes forgets to water your plants, don't worry, bougainvillea will forgive you. It just needs a little care when it's getting established, and then it'll be in full bloom, showing off all summer long. It's one of those plants that makes any space feel like it's part of an exotic paradise. Imagine a little corner of your patio, completely covered with those vibrant flowers. Doesn't it just sound amazing? Are you someone who loves color in your garden? Because if so, bougainvillea is going to be a dream for you. How do you feel about bold, colorful blooms? Do you love them or prefer something a little more subtle? Drop a comment below and let me know. Next up is a plant that not only looks beautiful but smells incredible, honeysuckle. If you're after a climbing plant that's going to fill your small space with a sweet, intoxicating fragrance, honeysuckle is your answer. The scent is just heavenly, especially in the evening when the air cools down and the flowers are at their most aromatic. Seriously, it's one of those scents that's so rich and sweet it almost takes you to another place, a true sensory experience. Now, honeysuckle's not just about the fragrance. It's got beautiful blooms too, with vibrant colors ranging from yellows to pinks to reds. This plant loves sun, but it can tolerate partial shade as well. So, if you've got a space that's a little sun-dappled, honeysuckle will still thrive. It's also a great option if you want to attract birds or pollinators to your space. as they're drawn to the nectar. That means not only will you get the beauty and fragrance, but you'll be helping the environment too. And here's another bonus. Honeysuckle is incredibly easy to grow. It doesn't mind a little pruning, and with regular care, it will happily climb up a trellis, along a wall, or over a fence, creating a lush, fragrant vertical garden. Just make sure you water it regularly, and like most climbing plants, it appreciates a little feed here and there to keep those blooms coming. Honestly, who wouldn't love a plant that adds beauty, fragrance, and attracts wildlife? It's one of my personal favorites, and if you're looking to elevate your space with something that offers all those benefits, honeysuckle's the way to go. Tell me, how do you feel about plants with fragrance? Do you prefer plants that just look beautiful, or is the scent part of the magic for you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Now, if you're looking for a climbing plant that will truly delight your senses, let's talk about sweet peas. These little beauties are like a breath of fresh air in any small space. The thing that makes sweet peas stand out is, of course, their beautiful fragrance. Imagine stepping outside and getting hit with that sweet, delicate floral scent. There's nothing quite like it. It's light, airy, and just dreamy. But not only do they smell amazing, they also have these soft, pastel-colored blooms that really soften up the atmosphere in any garden or pot. They're fantastic for small spaces because they grow up quickly, but they don't need a ton of room at the base. If you're looking to add a gentle touch of color and scent, sweet peas are perfect for a trellis or even a hanging basket. They grow rapidly and produce a lot of flowers, so you get maximum beauty with minimum space. And did I mention that they're climbers? These little guys will climb their way up and cover your structure beautifully, making any vertical space feel full of life. Now, here's the thing about sweet peas. They thrive in cooler temperatures, so they're perfect for spring and early summer. They like a bit of sun, but they're not the biggest fan of extreme heat. So if you live in a hot climate, make sure they're planted where they can get some afternoon shade. But once they're settled in, they'll reward you with flowers for weeks. Honestly, I think sweet peas are such an underrated gem for small spaces. If you're looking for a plant that's not only visually stunning but also packs a fragrant punch, this is your plant. Have you ever grown sweet peas before? I'd love to know what's your experience with them. Let me know in the comments. Up next is a plant that's not just about looks, but also about bringing joy through its fragrance, jasmine. Now, I have to tell you, if you want a climbing plant that smells like a luxury spa or a warm summer evening, jasmine is going to be your new best friend. The scent is intoxicating, almost addictive, and will fill the air around it with a sweet, rich perfume that'll instantly take you to a place of calm and relaxation. It's one of those fragrances that lingers in the air even after you've walked away. But jasmine isn't just about its fragrance. Its delicate white or yellow flowers are gorgeous, and they bloom throughout the warmer months. So, if you're looking to add a touch of elegance to your space, this plant is perfect for that. It's great for small spaces because it climbs beautifully and can be trained up a trellis or along a fence, providing a lovely vertical accent to your space. The vines themselves are slender and graceful, but when jasmine flowers, it's like the plant is bursting with life, creating a stunning focal point. One thing to keep in mind with jasmine is that it loves the sun. The more sunlight it gets, the more flowers you'll have. It also prefers well-drained, fertile soil, so make sure to give it a good home in a nice, airy pot. As far as care goes, jasmine is fairly easy to grow, but it does need regular watering, especially during the warmer months. And here's a tip: if you prune it after it blooms, you'll help keep the plant compact and encourage more flowers next season. If you're someone who loves plants that don't just look good, but also add to the atmosphere with their fragrance, jasmine is an absolute must. I'm a huge fan, and I think you will be too once you experience that aroma. What about you? Are you drawn to plants with strong fragrances? Or are you more about the visual appeal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your preferences. Now, who doesn't love a classic? Climbing roses are one of those plants that bring an air of romance and timeless elegance to any space. When you think of roses, you probably picture those soft, velvety petals in shades of pink, red, and white. And when they're climbing up a trellis or draping over a fence, it's like the epitome of garden beauty. Climbing roses aren't just for large estates, they're perfect for small spaces too, adding a pop of color and a touch of sophistication without overwhelming your area. Here's the thing about climbing roses. They're hardy and incredibly versatile. You can train them to grow vertically, which means they take up very little floor space but still give you that lush, full look. Their blooms are absolutely stunning and will fill the air with their fragrance during the warmer months. It's like getting a bouquet of roses every day without the need for constant replanting. And because they grow up, you don't need a sprawling garden to enjoy them. They can turn any fence or wall into a floral masterpiece. Now, for the care, climbing roses thrive in full sun and they appreciate rich, well-drained soil. They're not too fussy, but like any rose, they do need a little love. Prune them regularly to remove dead or weak growth, and you'll find that they'll bloom beautifully year after year. And here's a little tip. If you feed them with a slow-release rose fertilizer in the spring, you'll encourage even more flowers. These roses are perfect for anyone who wants to add a little extra charm to their space. Climbing roses are one of those plants that bring instant beauty and elegance to any area, no matter how small. But what do you think are roses? A timeless favorite for you, or do you prefer something a little more modern in your space? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know if you're a rose lover or if you have another flower that steals the show in your garden. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about the stunning wisteria. If you've ever seen a wisteria in full bloom, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of those plants that instantly steals the spotlight with its long, cascading clusters of flowers in shades of purple, blue, or white. Wisteria is show-stopping. There's just something about those delicate, trailing flowers that makes you feel like you're walking through a garden straight out of a fairy tale. Wisteria is perfect for small spaces because, like other climbers, it grows vertically, and once it's established, it will cover any structure in no time. If you're looking to create that magical, secret garden vibe in your small space, this is the plant you want. It's ideal for trellises, pergolas, and even hanging baskets. When it starts to bloom in the spring or early summer, the entire space feels like it's been transformed into a botanical wonderland. And the fragrance, it's light and sweet, adding another layer of magic to the experience. However, wisteria does come with a little bit of a challenge. It's a fast grower and needs regular pruning to keep it in check, or it can take over and become a bit unruly. But if you've got a bit of time to devote to trimming and care, the results will be absolutely worth it. Wisteria loves full sun and well-drained, fertile soil, so make sure it gets the right environment to really thrive. It does require a bit of patience, but trust me, once it blooms, it's worth every second of effort. If you're dreaming of adding that magical touch to your space, wisteria will do just that. But tell me, how do you feel about plants that need a little extra attention to thrive? Are you up for the challenge? Or do you prefer something a bit lower maintenance? Let me know what you think in the comments. I love to hear your thoughts on wisteria. Alright, now that we've covered the 10 best climbing plants, I want to share a little something extra with you. You've got your plants, but how do you make sure they thrive and truly shine in your space? Well, I've got some bonus tips that will help you take your climbing plants to the next level. These aren't just your basic care tips, but rather insider secrets that'll help you maximize your space and keep your plants looking gorgeous all year round. So, grab a notebook, because these tips are going to make a huge difference. Let's dive in. Tip #, container choices for climbing plants. Alright, let's talk about containers for a second, because the right pot can make a huge difference in how your climbing plants thrive. It's super important to choose a pot with good drainage. Trust me, your plants will thank you. Without drainage, the roots can become waterlogged, which leads to root rot, and we definitely don't want that. So, make sure your container has drainage holes at the bottom. A little trick I love is to add a layer of rocks or gravel at the bottom before you fill it with soil. Not only does it improve drainage, but it helps to keep the roots from sitting in water too long. You want your climbing plants to have their roots nice and cozy, but also dry enough that they can breathe. It's all about finding that balance. Tip #2, vertical gardening. Maximize your space. Next up, vertical gardening. If you're working with limited space, this one's a game changer. Instead of thinking about how many plants you can fit on the floor, think about how many you can grow up. It's all about using your walls, fences, or even the corners of your balcony to give your climbing plants room to spread. Trellises are an absolute must. Whether you buy them or get creative with a DIY project, they'll give your plants something to climb and help keep them off the ground. Hanging baskets are another great option. They're perfect for letting plants like sweet peas or clematis hang freely and add a beautiful cascade of flowers to any space. Not only does vertical gardening maximize your space, but it also adds dimension and beauty to any garden, balcony, or even indoor space. Tip #3, feeding and pruning. All right, this one is really important. Feeding and pruning. Just like us, plants need a little food to stay healthy and strong. You'll want to feed your climbing plants every couple of months with a balanced fertilizer, something that has all the key nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. This will keep your plants happy and encourage strong growth. But don't stop there. Pruning is just as important. Regular pruning ensures your climbing plants don't get out of hand. Some plants, like Virginia creeper, can become a bit wild if left unchecked. Regularly cutting back any dead or overgrown parts helps keep the plant neat and also encourages new growth. It also allows the plant to focus its energy on growing in the right direction, so you're not fighting a plant that's growing all over the place. Tip #4. Using a plant support system. If your plant is starting to get a little too big for its own good, or it's climbing in a direction you don't want it to, it might be time to add some extra support. Use bamboo sticks, wire netting, or even DIY plant supports to guide your plant where you want it to go. It'll help keep your climbing plant structure nice and strong, and it'll encourage it to grow in a way that complements your space. Trust me, using a support system early on will save you a lot of hassle later. Plus, it gives your plants a much cleaner, more controlled look. If you're learning something new today, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps me out and also lets me know that you're enjoying the content. If you want more gardening tips and ideas like these, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss out on a new video. We're building a green community here, and I don't want you to miss a thing. What's the hardest part of growing climbing plants in pots for you? Is it finding the right container, pruning them, or something else? Let me know in the comments so I can help. I love hearing about your gardening challenges, and I'm here to offer tips and advice. Which of these climbing plants are you most excited to try? I'd love to know in the comments which one caught your eye. And if you're ready to green up your space and get started with climbing plants, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That way, you won't miss out on more gardening tips, tricks, and ideas that'll make your garden thrive. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video helpful and that you're feeling inspired to add a little greenery to your space. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and keep growing.